Welcome back to the CuttyandGovy show. Gavia and I are doing a real fast show, maybe a 20-minute show today, so you guys won't get bored when you watch it. Because there's so much news, we popped over to our podcast studio to talk to these folks, and we just wanted to talk about the RFK stuff and the debate stuff and all this other stuff. But real fast, as I was watching Donald Trump be interviewed by Theo Vaughn, I said to Gavi, since he's been assassinated or assassination attempt, he seems somewhat lethargic. And I think, my theory is, he's on Wellbutrin or some kind of antidepressant. I think he's depressed over the fact that he was shot, that he prepared for 2 years to fight Biden in a nomination, and now it's a rigged election, in his opinion, and he's got Kamala Harris. All his money he spent for Biden, now he has somebody different.
I think I agree with you on. I think that he did. He was gearing for. I think he is on a antidepressant type of drug. I think it has nothing. I don't think it's the getting shot. I think after the getting shot, and by the way, they gave more coverage to more people than other people getting shot than him. You know, it really wasn't that much in the news cycle. But I think what frustrates him is that Kamala Harris doesn't have to give an interview. It's 37 times, and I think he's tired of everything stacked against him. Like, I think it all came down where it was like he was in the court for 6 weeks.
Right.
Then he was here. Then they all of a sudden they switched candidates on him, which has never been done before. So I think all these different things, it's like he just feels like everybody's against him.
And when he was on that Theo Vaughn interview, he doesn't have that sparkle in his eye. I mean, he just doesn't have. It's like he gave up. He doesn't seem to have the fight in him. And look, I'll admit it. I was on Wellbutrin for 20 years ago, in between my divorces. And, it's a drug that takes everything out of you.
Well, you could see something in him, but it's interesting. I look at it like with him, I wouldn't be able to be in the courtroom for 6 weeks. I wouldn't be able to handle that they tried to take me off the ballot in 10 states. I wouldn't be able to handle that the sexual cases.
Here, pick Tito up. Show Tito to our 300, 400,000 listeners.
Here's Tito. He has his eyes.
Tito.
He has his eyes now, so he can see.
Tito's upset. He's not on the podcast. Now he's on the podcast.
He can see everything. But I think he's tired of fighting upstream, and I think this was the Kamala Harris out of left field. I think kind of like and then seeing how the media is protecting it. Like not only did they come out of left field, they're making, by the way, she was the lowest rated vice president ever, and now she's the greatest thing since sliced bread.
Well, it's remarkable, and I said this on our last show, and we had a reel that blew up this week that was 12,000 viewers on this reel. I mean, the fact that she has not spoken to the press in 37 days, I mean, anybody that votes for her, and I was willing to give her a shot, is a freaking idiot. I mean, how can you vote for somebody that won't give you the positions of what she stands for? She has all this videotape for all these years, 5 years of videotape. I'm against this. I'm for that. Now she won't give anybody an interview so she can flush out her ideas and let me understand.
Yes, but the crazy thing is, if you go by, without giving an interview, if you only go by the tapes of what she said, her on her border wall that Trump wanted, she called it a vanity wall. She made like it's the worst thing in the world, this wall to have, and that she doesn't want to be a part of it. Now she wants to build a wall. And by the way, under her administration, all that wall that they didn't use yet, they sold for like 5 cents on the dollar. So they got rid of a lot of the wall that they now want to buy back. Imagine being the person that bought their wall from them.
Steal.
And then can sell it back to them because it's already pre-made. You could sell it right back to them because now they need it. So, I mean, here's the thing that I think the country needs to know about. If I could ask her a couple questions.
Okay.
One would be, you were the tie-breaking vote because the Senate was 50-50. You were the tie-breaking vote 40 times, more than any vice president in the history of the United States. 40 times your stamp either made the law or not. Tell us about. Do you know what some of those 40 things were? Some was the Inflation Act. I mean, there were things that she stopped drilling. She stopped. There was on crime, bailing people out.
You want her to explain why she voted that way and switched the whole vote 51-50.
40 votes.
Yeah, you want her to pontificate why she said this or that, voted this way or that way.
100%.
And she's not willing to meet anybody. She can meet any liberal.
Or why can't the media put up on the screen, these are the 40 things that way it would force her out to discuss it. Like right now, if I told you these are the 40 things and it's in the paper, some of them are going to shock you. I mean, some of them are going to be like...
she doesn't even know what they are. But let's get back to that debate, because that's part of it. I mean, now she's trying... Donald Trump agreed to these rules with Joe Biden, and they were very onerous against Donald Trump. You have to stand, no notes, the muted mics. He agreed to all this.
No audience.
No audience. This was the debate deal.
Right.
Now Kamala Harris wants to change the rules. She wants to have notes for the debate. That's bullshit. Number 2, she wants to be sitting on a table rather than a chair. I mean, standing. Number 3, she wants the muted mics, unmuted, so she can egg Donald Trump on. And this is my theory, if I can expound, Govy.
Go on.
I think Donald Trump, at the start of the debate, if he's crazy enough to agree to this stuff, which I'm telling him, Donald, if you're listening to me, do not agree to debate this woman, okay? But this is what he should do when he sits down. He should start the debate. Audience, Kamala Harris. I want every woman out there and everybody else that's listening to this debate to understand I am not going to be kind tonight. I am not going to be a gentleman tonight. I am going to verbally give you my opinions, because when you're up against Putin and Kim Jong-un, they're not going to be nice to you. So I can't sit here tonight fighting for this job and fighting for America to make America great again and be nice to you. I'm going to attack you with my opinions and belief. I'm not going to be disrespectful. I'm not going to insult you, but I'm not going to sit here and be polite.
But that's why he needs the microphones to be shut off, because if you looked at the last debate between Kamala Harris and Mike Pence, and he's a nice guy. He's like a kitten.
Yeah, she killed him.
And he interrupted her one time, and she needed that line to say, "Excuse me,
I'm talking.
I'm talking.
Excuse me, I'm talking."
And she wanted to say that, and she did that with the Palestinian protesters recently. So she wants to use that line, because everything is always scripted with her, on Donald Trump. That when he interrupts,
she'll kill him.
Yeah. So the best part would be keep it the way it is, that there is no interrupting. And let him just be who he is. And,
I usually at a traffic light on Federal Highway see a couple in the car next to me. Mm-hmm. And the woman, you could see her saying that, "Excuse me, I'm talking right now. Excuse me, I'm talking." She will destroy this guy. Not on substance, on manner. She will destroy him on manner.
I think the big thing she has to explain to everybody, though, is why did she flop on so many different things, on fracking, on the border, now she's going after the food companies, thinking that they're like...
shrinkage.
By the way, the big issue that a lot of people don't realize is, how about the capital gains that you don't have yet?
Yeah, unrealized gain. It's so retarded what she's proposing.
It's impossible to do that.
Follow me for a minute, folks, if you can understand this. When guys like Govy and I that have businesses, okay, we have our house, we have our car. We're not taking money out of our business to buy another house and another car. We're old. We don't need to do that anymore. So if you raise our tax rate and we can't raise our price to the consumer because we're capped out, that money that you're taking from us, the extra 7%, we can't put back into our business to create jobs. That money's going to the government. And the government has proved to you folks that they don't know how to create jobs. They just lost 818,000 jobs, which they said they made.
Right.
So they're taking money away from people that are creating jobs, and they're giving it to a federal government bureaucracy that can't.
Who creates government jobs? That's what what they create. But no one's going to be able to do. No one's going to be able to have, like, let's say you have a 401k. You're a teacher, and your pension, and all of a sudden the pension invested in NVIDIA. And all of a sudden, that someone says to them, by the way, you have an extra $50,000 that you made this year, even though you didn't sell it. You have to pay taxes on that.
It's ridiculous.
And then what happens if you pay the taxes on it, and then all of a sudden NVIDIA crashes?
Gavi, NVIDIA's earnings are tomorrow.
I know.
Are you nervous?
I think they're going to go through. I think they're going to be great.
They're looking for 100% increase. 100%. That's a big number.
I think the number's going to be there. Then everybody's going to say, "Why didn't I buy it again?"
Right. Democratic legacy guy, his father, his uncle, his entire family, his cousin. Everybody's been a lifelong Democrat. Why would this guy switch teams?
Well, there could be a couple reasons. One, after the assassination attempt of Trump, and when it first took place, you thought, okay, there was a mix-up, there's something. It was a little foggy. But because they're not giving you answers...
Why'd they cremate his body in 5 days?
Immediately, which everybody wants to know that question.
That's like... That enthralls conspiracy theory.
Then the CIA, the Secret Service, and the FBI are doing cover-ups that they're stonewalling the Congress, which doesn't make sense. So now you get someone like me, and I'm thinking to myself, you know what? They tried to get him off the ticket with the 12 states. They put him in the courthouse in 4 different states. They hired Jack Smith. They changed the third guy in command. They moved him into Bragg's office. And then they finally said, you know what? Let him go out there on the stage. We got Biden. He went to church at 6 o'clock on a Saturday night. So
like in the Godfather movie where he killed the 5 heads of the other families.
And I really believe I could see them taking him out. And I think that RFK is thinking to himself, they took my dad and my uncle out. I think he believes that the CIA was involved in his uncle. And he wants to maybe see that. I think he also felt...
He might say, they're coming for me.
RFK also feels that the Democratic way, the Kennedy's way, is you have fair elections. You put somebody out there that is running. They didn't... Kamala Harris, no one chose her. She was handpicked. It was like saying, you were voting for this person. RFK sat there, all he wanted to do was have one debate with Biden.
No Secret Service.
Yeah, I mean, no Secret Service. So I think he's thinking that they're not the Democrats of what it was. Bill Maher didn't move. Bill Maher was a left liberal Democrat, but he hasn't changed at all. He's sitting there basically. He's like closer to us now than the other way.
Well, I have to agree with you. I think RFK was willing to deal with the fact that they wouldn't give him Secret Service, that they spent $100 million to keep him off of every ballot.
$100 million.
$100 million the Democrats spent to keep RFK off ballots in states.
With his 4% or 5%.
Well, it was 10, but they wouldn't let him do a debate with Biden. They wouldn't have a runoff with Biden. I think he dealt with all that. But I think he probably knows the secret of who shot JFK. And when they shot Trump, and all this Secret Service nonsense is coming out where they didn't have drones in the sky. The guy had 4 encrypted phones and they can't get to him. Crooks was cremated in 5 days. I mean, it's bizarre. I think Kennedy said, you know what? The Democrats aren't going to protect me. Maybe they're coming after me.
And they're not even Democrats anymore. They're progressives, took over the party.
I think if Trump becomes president, he's not going to come after me. I think he's worried for his own skin. And he decided to switch teams. And me, as a Democrat, I've decided now to switch teams.
Oh.
I'm moving.
Welcome.
I'm moving to the Republican side. I was a Democrat, but because Kamala, well, a couple things, but because she won't give press conferences in 37 days, because of Tulsi Gabbard, because of Kennedy,
Elon Musk
and Bill Ackerman, But today was the nail in the coffin that drove me to the to the Republican side from being a Democrat. That's when Mark Zuckerberg
Oh, God.
said the FBI had their hand on the scale.
What made him do it now? I mean,
can't
what made him
imagine.
do it now? He kept it in the whole. By the way, that was the Hunter Biden laptop. That it goes.
I mean,
That's not the Democratic way.
if you folks are living under a rock and you don't know what Mark Zuckerberg, the head of Facebook, said today, he said the White House and the FBI pressured me into hiding this information. Handcuffed them about the laptop, about COVID, a lot of disinformation. And the government can shut you down, fine you billions of dollars, put you out of business, arrest you, do anything.
Right.
I hope they don't come for me, Gabi.
No, but it's like, that. And by the way, do you see what Hollywood is doing to Cheryl Heinz?
Horrible. Cheryl Heinz, who's married to Robert Kennedy Jr., she was on Curb Your Enthusiasm. Amazing.
Right.
They have ostracized her and have like banished her from Hollywood.
That star from The West Wing or something?
Yeah.
I mean, the way he talked to her, it was like she's...
I mean, here's this woman.
Hitler
RFK's
again.
probably,
Hitler again.
He's probably going to get divorced.
Right.
I mean, being in his house must be miserable right now. I mean, she's banished from Hollywood. Her whole career's done.
Well, listen to this. Robert Kennedy walks into the house. He walks into his house now, and he has his son who leaked the conversation he had with Trump that was a
Does he have a bear on his shoulder?
Yeah. So he leaks. His son leaks that like his own son betrays him.
Right.
His daughter is now going out with Ben Affleck or something like that. He then breaks the news that he put a bear into the thing.
And ate a dog.
Or ate a dog. And Cheryl Heinz is getting blasted. I mean, what else can go wrong for this guy?
And he can't talk. I mean, he's having a tough time.
But I do have one question for you. Robert Kennedy looked pretty good up there on the stage with Trump.
He looked great. Nice and tan.
But here's what I wanted to tell you. Kennedy's 6'1".
Right.
And he looked taller than Donald Trump, who's supposedly 6'3". So when Trump said he wanted his shoes back when he got shot at, and people were saying it's because maybe he's not as tall as he is, I thought they were full of crap. But now I saw Kennedy. Kennedy at 6'1".
Was an inch taller than him.
Was an inch taller. So is there a chance that he has...
Well, the problem is his shoes with the lift, they never gave back. It's evidence in the assassination attempt. So he doesn't have his shoes with the lift in to be 6'3". That's why,
Right, he got smaller.
Well, watch that clip, folks. Kennedy
is taller.
Is an inch taller than Trump. I don't know when you're 70, you shrink. I don't have much to shrink. I'm short to begin with. I don't know.
But he is Barron, So
yeah,
he
6'8".
Yeah, and Eric and Don Jr.
Well, Gavi, we popped in here. We did a fast 20-minute show. We covered a lot of good stuff.
Yeah,
Do you want to talk sports real fast? We have a couple minutes left.
Well, we got football coming this week, college football. I like the Miami Hurricanes over University of Florida, but women's tennis. There's I've been following that. I like Jess Pagula, and I like Emma Navarro. And tonight at 8:30 is Tommy Paul playing.
And is it covered by ABC, NBC? I don't watch
ESPN.
it. Oh, ESPN.
ESPN, you can watch all the different things. It's.
I don't think I get that on basic cable though. Do I get the ESPN?
Yeah, you get ESPN, but it's and it's great. And I'll have some betting picked for you because you can make a lot of money in women's tennis and men's tennis, to tell you the truth.
All right, a fast shout out to Pod Populi. They squeezed us in here. Big Mike over there helped us out.
Great.
He's great. He's amazing, and gave us a 20-minute slot because all this stuff was on our minds, and we wanted to get it out there while it's relevant. All right, folks, have a great week.
See you Thursday.